Hi, this is Bethany Barnard. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm looking forward to showing you a card today that we're making using the Hello Harvest bundle. You can find this in our July to December mini catalog 2022, and you can find it on page 50. This is a beautiful set. I want to show you a couple other cards that I made with it. I really like the pumpkins for the fall and the leaves. But here are 3 cards that I've already made with this set, and then we're going to make this card together today. You are such a blessing, and when you open it up, you can see it says, wishing you the loveliest day. And this is all made from just the DSP that coordinates with this bundle, as well as a few punches, ribbons, gems, and the pieces, because this is part of my card kits in the mail. So I can't send out any stamped images for those packets. You'll have to use those for yourself, but I've sent everything else, little leaf cutouts and things to put together for your pumpkin and your DSP, which is all acceptable in a card kit. So let's get started. Those of you who are in this card kit program, first of all, I thank you for being a part of it. If you're interested in this program, please contact me and I'll tell you more about it. It can be earned free with an order, or it can be purchased. So inside your kit, you should have these 3 gems and a little stem that's going to be part of our pumpkin. You should have this punch, because 2 of the punches we've used today are the Label Me Fancy, which is this punch, which we used it in the other card that we're making in my card kits for this month. I like these 2 punches on the side, but I also like this punch, but it just so happens that today we've used this punch on my Christmas Scotty card that there's a video up for that. And then I've used this slot punch here, which is what enables this ribbon to pass through like this. And then for this punch, which I really like, we've used this punch, which is lasting labels. Both the Label Me Fancy and the lasting label punches are found on page 152 and 153 of the annual catalog. Okay, so let's go through everything that should be inside your kit packet. So we have this piece of DSP that comes from the coordinating DSP in the fall catalog. This would be your card front. This will go on the inside. This is our card base. You should have a vanilla piece already cut out with this piece here, which we'll go through when the time comes. And then you should have 4 pumpkin pieces, 2 that are this shape and 2 that are this shape. And then you should have this label, part of the die set. You should have 2 of the crushed curry leaves, 1 old olive crushed leaf, and 1 Cajun craze leaf. A little green stem, again from the dies, 3 gems, and a, what do you call that, on the top of a pumpkin stump. Anyway, that should be in there, a piece of ribbon, this label, and then another label like this. And then we're going to make this card, stamp on the front with whatever greeting stamps you have to use at home, and then open it up and you have this pumpkin that comes out in front. Call it a pop-out card. And then I've just put, this is a stamp that also comes in this stamp set, and I've used it so that we can sign the card and put it right there. Okay, well, let's get started. You're going to want to start by taking your card base, which is the Cajun Craze piece here, and I'll keep this card here so you can see where we're going with it. And you're going to want to just go ahead and adhere the pumpkins on the front. I need this glue to last me throughout this video because my craft room is a long way from here. Make sure your pumpkins are right side up. And then put that on the front of your card. The next thing you're going to want to do is take your punched piece that has these ribbon slots already punched out there and put your greeting, whatever you choose, on the front. Now I'm going to use this stamp from the actual stamp set, Hello Harvest, and using the Cajun Craze, I'm going to stamp You're Such a Blessing. And my aim is to get it right in between those slots. And bingo, I did it. Okay. Next you want to take your beautiful gold ribbon. It's nice and thin, easy to tie, and you're going to want to thread it through the back side of your label. There you go. And then we're going to tie it right onto the front of our card here. So I'm going to move this down because I want this to show sort of in the bottom right hand corner, and then just have a bow sort of next to it here. You can slide this, you know, left or right after you got this fixed where you want it. But this is pretty easy ribbon to tie. I think it's so pretty, the gold for the fall as well as with Christmas coming up. And you can find this ribbon in our annual catalog as well. Okay. No one likes to tie a bow on camera, but there we go. There we go. That's done. And then hopefully I gave you enough ribbon that you can trim it down. And I know I have some scissors right here in order to do that. Here we go. Move them further away than I meant. Okay, so you just trim the ends. And there, I mean, this card's pretty enough just as it is. You can move this over like that. And then with your gems that came in your packet, and you know, don't worry about, if you have trouble opening this little plastic bag, don't worry about it. You can just cut it right off like that. I mean, I find that easier to do. You're going to take your stem and put that aside, and then just find a place to put your gems. Let me see which piece I have here. No, I didn't bring my other piece to my take your pick tool, so I'm going to have to use my scissors for this part too. And you're just going to pick up the gem, place it somewhere on your card, and I think I'm going to do this all right on this label piece because I'm going to show you where I put it on the sample card, but I do think it tends to get a little lost, so we're just going to keep it right there. And these gems can be found in the same mini catalog, July to December. On this one, I've put one up here and two over here, but I've decided to just put all three of them right here on this label. You can put yours wherever you want. So that's basically our card done, except for the inside, which is the magical part of this particular card. But I'm going to set that top bit aside here and then get out these pieces. So for this, we're gonna punch this. Well, before we do that, you're going to take this piece here that's already been cut for you, and I cut right in the center, about 1 inch deep on either side, and then you're going to fold it. This is just such a simple, basic pop-out card. And once you've done that, you've got these fold marks. And so the inside of your card will pop out like that. And now we're going to get to doing the inside of it. You can go ahead and lay this down on the inside. Not just lay it down, but obviously adhere it. I've got a little bit of cold. I hope you'll forgive me if you hear me sniffing or congested. I think before I started this video, I did quite a bit of sneezing. There we go. And then you're going to take your other punched piece that coordinates with the piece on the front. And I like this little piece here. Again, it's just this stamp set comes with some really cute extra design pieces. I want to show you those, but how did I move that over? Right, here we go. So here's my stamp set. And so you see it's got these line 3 dots and a line, and it's got these little swirly bits, which I just think are really fun to use when you're stamping. Okay, so I'm using Cajun Craze today because that's our card base, and it also shows up in the Designer Series paper. And this is just going to be where we would sign our name. And if you don't stamp that part right, mine's a little crooked, you turn it over and you pay more attention the second time. At least that's about how I stamp. I'm happy with that, and we'll put it in there. Excuse me, I am going to have to wipe my nose. Not a pleasant thing to put on a video, I'm sure. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. I guess I'm very human. I'm still new at making videos, so I hope you'll bear with me. Can't really afford to start over again. All right, so we have that down at the center. And now I want to put this banner. Everyone's gotten one of these banners in their card kits. And then you'll have to choose your sentiment that you're going to put up here on that banner. But it does come with, this is one of the dies from this bundle. And so it comes with a coordinating stamp that says, wishing you the loveliest day. And I'm hoping that I can center this right on the front of this pre-cut label. Let's see how we do. Oh, except if you drop it, which I just did. So that's when you turn it over. I don't know if this is in the camera. Now I'm all nervous. Wishing you the loveliest day. I am not real happy with that. I missed it. I got nervous there, so I'm going to try. I have another one right here I'm going to get out. Normally I would stamp this on a piece of paper, then send it through my Big Shot to have that piece, and then you would have 2 sides. But if you drop your stamp on it on the first side and then you mess up on the second side, you're on the next one. So that's why we normally would stamp it first and then cut it out. So let's try that again. I want to keep you within the camera, but I'm not sure if I'm doing that. Okay, that was a little low, but I'm okay with that because it's an easy matter to just trim a little bit up the top, because it will still give me a nice outline all the way around. Again, I would just say that if you own this die set, you wouldn't have to do that because you'd stamp first and then cut it out. But because I'm making this card along with you, and I wanted to show you how we would do that, I did it freehand. So basically, I'm looking at where this is, basically the center, and I'm going to stamp, adhere that right up there at the top. Love this liquid glue. It's my go-to adhesive. Anybody who stamps with me knows that. I want it high enough because I know this is a kind of a tall pumpkin when we're done. Looks like it should go over a little bit this way to be in the center. So let's try that again. There we go. Again, with that liquid glue, you do have some time to move things around, which I love. Okay, so there we are. We're almost there. Okay, now you have these 4 pieces for your pumpkin. And you can use, they're fine if you put your pumpkin together. The way I did this was, you've got the bottom, you've got the center, and then we're gonna put it over here and then have this stick out on this side. And that's how we're getting a great big pumpkin. You can just adhere them in layers like that. But what I'm gonna do is first, with my acrylic, my little brush here that we sell in a set of 3, I'm gonna take some of the Cajun Craze ink, and I'm just gonna kind of put a little darkened depth color for depth around these pieces. So I'm just doing it on the right side of one of these, and then I'm going to do it all the way around the other one that's in this shape. And you could do this with pumpkin pie as well. The pieces that I've cut out here with the dies is on pumpkin pie cardstock. Again, on one of these, you're gonna go all the way around. If you have a sponge, you can use a sponge as well to do this. I just happen to like the brushes. I feel like I have a little bit more control with them. I like to hold the piece up and then just run it down the edges like that. Okay, and on this last one, we only need to do basically the right side of it because we're going to put this all together to make a large pumpkin. I do want to show you how just 2 of these pieces will make a pumpkin too, but it's not the kind of pumpkin I wanted to be sort of the grand central pumpkin in my card. But I will show you that, how that's done. Okay, so once you've gone around just the left-hand side of this, that's sufficient. I'm going to close up my ink pad. And first of all, I just wanted to show you that you can make just a tall, skinny pumpkin this way and take the stem, put the stem on, and you've got a tall, skinny pumpkin. You can add this little vine to it as well if you'd like. But we're going to make a bigger and wider one. So I'm going to show you how you use 2 of each of these pieces to accomplish that. And it's going to start with taking these 2 larger pieces with the one that we've only sponged the left-hand side, and we're going to put this over it. Now you don't want this piece under here showing, but you do want this line here to kind of follow around. But this is going to get covered up. This bit right here that's in the center is where you're going to put this piece. So that's not going to show, except for this is the piece that goes behind here. So you would put it right like this and bring that down a little bit. And that's how you get your nice wide pumpkin. And then we're going to put this piece on like that. So basically we're going to just glue that all together. So I'm going to just, so that you can see, add this on a little bit at a time. So I'm going to start with the bottom of the stem. Stem! I couldn't think of that word before. This is just a stem. I don't know what I called it earlier, but I don't think I called it a stem, and that makes sense. All right, so there's the stem of our pumpkin. And now I'm going to put this one. It's just like the tall, skinny pumpkin I showed you that we can make with this. And basically that's what we're making right now. And then I'm going to put this over to the side because now we're going to go ahead and glue this onto here. So I'm going to just put glue on the left-hand side to begin with. Well, the upside down left-hand side, but you understand what I'm saying. Make it follow along the line up here. And then we're just going to put this part on right here. So now I'm going to put glue on this side. And that's basically how we've built the big fat pumpkin. And that's because, again, I couldn't send you this stamp image to die cut. So these die cut pieces come with it, and you may be able to see that there's a little bit of sort of pumpkin design going on in there too. Okay. And then we're going to add this little vine. And I think I kind of want it to stick out a little bit here, so I'm only going to add glue on half of it that will attach to the actual pumpkin. There we go. Turn that over, have that come out. You need it to stick, you know, hold on long enough, because remember, it does give us that time to move it around if we need it. Okay, so now, before I put this on here, I'm gonna go ahead and add some leaves at the bottom. And I wanted to show you, you can take any kind of a stylus for this. You could even take a bone folder, and these are our leaves. And I found I like just making a simple impression by going down it with sort of a center and some veins that you would have with the leaf. So even though I can't give you the stamped image of these, I thought that made this a little more realistic if we put these veins in our leaves. And I just, you know, go to the center of, to be able to find that. It's really, you can't really get this wrong. It's just like drawing it on. And then one more leaf would be the green one. Go. And then we want to put them around our pumpkin. Get just these nice fall colors. And I'm going to have a look at how I did it here, even though that doesn't mean I'll do it the same. Okay, so I have a little green one here, the red and gold here, and the yellow here. So I have one in front and the three others behind. I don't think it matters which way we decide to do it, so I'm gonna go with this Cajun Craze one, right at the back here. And then I'm going to do a yellow crushed curry. You just want to make sure that it sticks out enough for people to see it. That's from my stamping before. I thought it was a scrap of paper. I'm almost tempted to have 3 on this side, but that just doesn't look like I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put this one around the front. If you've made any mistakes and you want to cover them up, the leaves are good for that too. But I think I'm gonna just go, let's see. I don't want it in there, but so we'll have 3 on one side and just 1 on the left. And once you have this all built up to where you have your pumpkin, your stem, your vine, and your 3 leaves, what we're going to do is you want to make sure it's not too sticky on the back, because if it's sticky on the back, it's going to, when you close this, it might possibly stay shut. And so you don't want that. So now what you want to do is put glue right here. And then we're going to put our pumpkin right there. I like to look and see if my stem is coming right underneath there. I love the design of this with the stem of the pumpkin being in the middle. So I want to make sure that's adhered. And then punch this out again, close it, open it. And then you can see that this pumpkin really pulls out from the card and just makes it a bit of a wow. And so then we're going to put it inside our card. And the way we do that is I start with the bottom and I do a fat line of adhesive. That means I'm using the fatter end of my liquid glue. And then we'll just do 2 lines over. And you want to make sure that you're coming under this fold here. And you have a nice edge on these 3 sides. But you'll notice I did not put adhesive all over the entire back. And that's because on some of our cards that pop out, too much glue can kind of restrict the movement. And you don't want that to happen. It kind of, if anything's not exact, it will be forgiving. So now I'm just doing that same thing, 2 lines of adhesive here. And then I'm gonna shut my card. Something just happened, it like popped up there. I'm not sure why, but I guess it's okay. Let me see. I don't know why it did that. But it's all working okay. So there you have it. This fits in a normal envelope. It is buckling there, you see that? So that makes me think that I want to make this go all the way up here. Make sure it's laying flat and close it. Huh, I'm not sure why that's buckling. I don't have my bone folder here. But I think it will just be a case of closing it and bringing it down. Yeah, that's helped it. It's the kind of thing that, you know, you might notice, but it's going to fit in the card. They're going to take it out of the card. It's going to look great. It's going to open and everything's going to be fine. But that's exactly why you don't want to put adhesive over the entire inside back, because it will restrict the movement. But this is fine now. You saw how I fixed it. And then there are our 2 cards. I hope you have fun making this card, and thank you for being a part of my card kits in the mail.